All right, then time now for our second review of the show, Aquaman. Let's get into some initial thoughts. Full spoilers if you haven't seen this, so be warned. If you haven't seen it by now, go check it out. Ben, what did you think of this one? First thoughts?
I liked it a lot.
Okay. All right.
I love this movie. It's so dumb.
Sparkz.
Yeah, I love this movie too. I had a great time.
I thought this was a blast. Like I had a damn good time in this film. There's a lot of fist pump moments. It's unapologetically an Aquaman movie.
Yeah.
Like this is the most Aquaman movie. This is the most Aquaman.
It's the only Aquaman movie.
I know, but like like certain like movies they try to like do like Captain America, Winter Soldier is a spy thriller that Captain America is in. This is an Aquaman movie.
It's a comic book ass movie.
There is no. I'm
Ooh,
sorry.
the tricorder.
This is no other movie. This could be no other movie.
No.
Yeah.
And this is a damn good time.
Mm-hmm.
The effect. I think the effects are a little, let's say, terrible in the beginning.
The beginning?
A lot of green screen, a lot of noticeable green screen. But once we get underwater, that's where the effects really shine.
I noticed that the second time I saw this, like in like the scene on the docks, I'm like, wow, you can totally tell that's a green screen effect right there.
That is a very green screen moment.
Everything underwater is like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like this is amazing.
The underwater effects are sweet.
Like I even love it how their voice modulates a little bit when
Yeah.
they talk underwater, but it's not to the point where you can still understand them, and
Yes.
it doesn't
Sure.
hurt. And it doesn't. What's the word I'm trying to get? Infringe. There we go. It doesn't infringe on your enjoyment of the movie.
I'll tell you what. Since like this movie is like 90% CGI, like
Obviously, you can get some bad stuff.
well, no, that's what I mean. Yeah, like if this were an entirely normal movie and there was bad green screen, I would have a problem with it. But since this entire movie is CG, like a little bad green screen is not going to take away nothing from me. I have almost no concern.
I'm not saying it takes away. I'm
Yeah.
only saying that in a movie that has primarily good underwater CGI, the stuff not underwater is a little dodgy at times.
Yeah.
I get that. It honestly did not bother me whatsoever.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice it, to be
If
honest.
that's the cost to have the rest of the movie look
If that's
so
my
great,
only
then I'm
concern,
like,
that there's some mildly bad green screen, then like this movie is perfect.
right.
I never thought I'd ever see the Trench in live action, and I thought those guys looked rad.
I didn't think I
awesome.
would ever see a Julie Andrews giant monster either. So there's a lot of things I didn't think I'd
There's
see.
a lot of things in here I didn't think.
I didn't think I'd see
like this.
Aquaman eat a rose. That was delicious.
First off, like just this live action movie that mostly takes place underwater, crazy.
Yeah,
We haven't had that.
very
it's never happened.
Very expensive.
This is a lot of fun. It's definitely a swashbuckler film.
Their hair looks great underwater.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
love
The
it.
hair effects underwater
So-
were really
Love
good.
it.
So Dolph Lundgren, he was the king of Zebul, right?
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
so good in this movie
I
too.
mean,
Hey, I'm loving this Dolph Lundgren renaissance we're having.
his hair that flows when you go first see him at the count. I like how Orm's hair is like all slicked back and Volko's hair
Looks
is
like a fin.
a nice
Yeah,
top knot.
I don't mind it.
But
So does
Dolph
Volko's.
Lundgren. His hair is just like flowing nice and free. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just want to put my hands through
Sparkz
it.
now as our resident shark expert.
Yeah.
Sharks standing still. How do you feel about that?
It's a comic book movie. I don't care. If I'm drawing the line at shark, like if I can watch Deep Blue Sea, I can watch sharks swim
Yeah.
still. And to be fair, they were swimming like a little bit forward, like they were kind of like gyrating in
Gyration.
in a small space, but they were still like they weren't still.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of cool underwater sea monsters in this. The Seven Kingdoms. That's a
newer thing.
Yeah, that's a newer thing. I said that this is most of this film, all of this film, except for the origin stuff, comes from Jeff Johns' Aquaman run.
Oh, yeah.
like there is
Totally.
the bits in the desert, the trench. There's a little throw to the throne of Atlantis.
Dr. Singh,
Dr. Shin,
Shin,
who his second comic book appearance. This guy. in
Randall
1
Park.
year.
Yeah, he was an Ant-Man.
Yeah. I when he popped up, I was like, "Is that Dr. Shin?"
I'd see. Yeah, at first I didn't get it, but then the end credit scene, I was like, "Oh, duh."
Yeah,
right.
and that's straight out of Jeff Johns' Aquaman run.
Yeah.
The stuff where we find out that Alana is alive at the center of the earth. That's part of Aquaman's run. That was a whole thing there.
Aquamom.
She's great in this too, by the way.
Everyone's good in this. Pretty much.
I think Jason Momoa is a lot of fun in this. He's super charismatic and super charming and really great.
Hey, Brandon, bogeys are 6. What does that mean? Bad guys behind.
Bad guys behind us. Bad guys behind us.
Let's just say that. Bad guys are behind us.
Yeah, that was really good. I think Patrick Wilson's a lot of fun
So
in this. Patrick Wilson is, by the way, older than Jason Momoa.
Yeah, but
He's playing his younger brother.
you know how it
No,
goes.
but I love Patrick Wilson in this movie.
Yeah, he's great as Ocean Master.
Yeah, I want to get all my negatives out of the way because I don't think I have like any.
Sure.
I really like this movie a lot. I think Mara is a really awesome character. She does a lot of cool stunts and cool water effects. There's not much to her actual character though. She's kind of the sidekick.
Oh no, see, I disagree with that. I actually
Yeah.
think there's a lot to her character.
Show me the depths.
With the is that a water pun or are you trying to fight me?
As soon as I said it, it became it.
Because I think that with the stuff with her dad
Yeah.
is really great. You know, the kind of the stuff like she's playing both sides, like you see with Volko. He's playing both sides. Like we're with King Orm, but we really are backing King Arthur.
Yeah.
And he sees the King of Zebul, and he's like, you have to know this is insane. And then like this realization, oh, you want this too.
Yeah, I like that part
Yeah.
when they're doing the Ring of Fire.
When they're going to, and before they go to the Fisherman King, which, by the way, they murder the Fisherman King.
Yeah.
Poor Jimon Hansu.
And the poor little queen, the poor little girl, the
Oh,
princess
yeah. Who becomes
the
queen.
princess.
Politics, I love it.
Your king is dead. Long live his heir.
Yeah.
It was so cool. The trench in the comics were revealed to be one of the 7 kingdoms of Atlantis, but they had devolved, so they kind of ran with that theory. Having Zebul, we've always known about them.
Yep.
So initially there were 2 kingdoms of Atlantis and Zebul, and they didn't like each other. And in this one, the 7 kingdoms are still around. The deserters, which were lost to time, the
Dinosaurs.
the trench. Then there's another one. There's the fisherman, and I like how the brine,
or the crabs.
I like how each kingdom evolved in different ways depending on how
that was
they
really cool.
how they fell.
Like the opening expositions is like some advanced, some regressed. They look at the trench and then the Brine Kingdom.
Yes.
And then there's and some were just lost, like the Deserters, the Lost Kingdom.
Crap people.
Because if you really have to kind of pay attention to the dialogue, because there are some
There's
lines
a lot of exposition.
there's not only that, but there's some things I missed, like the Deserter Kingdom. Because when they went to go to Sahara Desert, I'm like, why would there's? Because Mira was telling Arthur that this used to be an inland ocean, and then it dried up, and when it dried up, that they all died. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense actually.
It not just having Khal Drogo in here, like it did remind me of the political
Please,
stuff of Game.
Conan the Barbarian.
Jesus, I'm sad that's the only one that you've seen of that. It reminds me of Game of Thrones with the political stuff because it's about political intrigue and like using factions to go against other factions and like I'm like, man, this is all good stuff.
Just to be clear, my first connection with Jason Momoa was from Stargate Atlantis, not from Conan.
Yeah.
Not from Conan.
He's good in that.
I wanted to go back because we were talking about Mara because you wanted to
Yes.
talk about negatives and you were gonna tell him about the depths, but you talked about her dad and then you talked about the kingdoms.
Oh no, I
really,
like her. I think
I know,
she's good.
I know, but
like
he
her.
challenged the portrayal of her, which is something I wanted to touch on.
What I mean is I didn't feel her. I didn't think her acting. I didn't buy her emotions. Like I didn't feel the betrayal. Like I thought it was kind of like, yeah, she's there saying these things.
Because I think
I felt more about Dolph Lundgren than I did her, to be
I
honest.
actually think she carries the film when Jason Momoa can't, because Jason Momoa has a lot to do in this
She is
film.
very pretty, so it's easy to look
and
at.
he's not an experienced enough actor to carry a movie like this yet. And I think given time he could be, but when he can't, it falls on Mara's shoulders. And I think she is confident in her portrayal of this role that she does carry this movie when he cannot. And I think she's very competent in the action roles. And I think she's really good in this movie. I do think she's solid. And I think there's more to her character than people give her
meets
credit
the
for.
eye.
I think for both of them, I could have used more. Man, it's not even like the scenes weren't there. I could have used something that pushed me to have more insight into both of them a little more.
Sure.
I think that's it lies somewhere between a script problem and an actor problem.
And I don't want to do a pun, but it's a lot of it kind of feels surface level.
God.
No,
I know what you mean.
I got more depth from like
I'll tell you
other things.
the best example that comes to mind is when the scene after Arthur wakes up with the seaweed and they're on the boat and she's playing the instrument
Before they go to the trench.
and there wasn't. I'll tell you what it is. It's that there wasn't enough being done to convey to me both on an acting level and written level the relationship developing between the two of them.
Okay, sure.
They individually strong, together not working.
No,
that comes out of nowhere,
I'll
and
go for
that scene needed more. That moment right there where he's talking about how Black Manta's his fault because he could have saved the dad and all that. That's the time when they could have opened up more because there's an opportunity for him to talk to her about her playing an instrument. It wasn't enough.
Sure, I'll go with
that.
that.
Needed to be
I
more
think
present.
that-
That's a minor thing, but that needed to be more present.
I think their chemistry is lacking.
Yeah.
The romantic chemistry specifically.
Yeah, and I think that needed to be built better because it would have been fine to me if they didn't kiss at the end.
Sure.
If that were saved for a later film.
Okay.
But because that happened in this movie, I needed more development of that.
Yeah, I'll accept
Cheating
that.
on the king. Psh.
But that's where I felt like that emotional connection, that heartbeat of it,
Yeah.
that was missing.
And
And to be
again-
honest, I don't think we needed it. That's the thing. I don't think we needed the
Build
romantic
it
thing.
up,
I
yeah.
didn't mind the interplay being there, but we could have gotten there in another film.
Sure.
I think there was so much else going on. I didn't need that. So without that kiss, I wouldn't have felt like there was a vacuum of not being established.
Yeah, but that comes from James Wan feeling like he needed to do everything in this one movie.
I get it, but that's the thing that I think I'm
And
reading
again,
on the
this is my one negative, and it's not. I didn't dislike her. I kind of wanted a little more from her.
Sure.
That being said, I still liked everything about her in the movie.
And commenting on Mara, I was going to say I really admire and praise the decision to have her decide when they're having the battle, the first one, that she's like, all right, nope. And she gets out of her thing and she goes and she attacks Orm and gets Arthur out of there.
rescues
She's like,
him, yeah.
everybody's going to know I can't go home. This is it. This is the play. And she makes that choice because they could have gone about that a very different way. That's not usually how these stories play out.
And she
But
doesn't
she
get, like,
put herself out there
kidnapped
like
or anything like
halfway
that,
through
like,
the film. And,
has her own
made her
agency.
stance clear, and I really appreciate that they made that choice.
Yeah, this film is everything in the kitchen sink.
Yeah,
Like
it's
James,
bold, it's big and bold, and it works.
James Wan puts a lot of it in this, and sometimes the dialogue goes into corniness and ham-fistedness.
Yes, and that's where I loved it even more.
Yeah, I think those are the weakest bits because under a more experienced actor than Jason Momoa, and I don't mean to slight his acting. I think he's good, but he doesn't have the career yet to really.
He's
drive
not
this
at the
forward.
Rock level just yet.
They put so much into this movie. It's just an unfathomable amount. It really is.
You know
Yes, thank you. Keep them coming.
Both of you can just f off.
Okay, bye.
I think he delivers lines of dialogue that a more seasoned actor could probably figure out a way to deliver, and he just delivers them, and it comes out a little corny. And
Yeah.
I think that's I think that's a failing on him just not being at the level
Well,
where
here-
we can see him be.
I'm gonna slightly disagree because this movie is the most expensive B movie ever made.
yeah.
It is dudes in rubber suits at the bottom of the ocean, but with $200 million instead. It's super cheesy.
It is a modern day Flash Gordon film.
100
That's
billion
really what
percent.
it is. I got a lot of John Carter vibes from it too.
Yes.
It's very much in that vein. So his I was gonna say like his corny and jokey nature actually works pretty well in this movie. It rarely bothers me. I feel like it's never ill-timed.
This is
It's
a
in
movie-
place. It feels in character. I told Ryan
With an
like,
octopus with playing the drums. Everything's on the board. It's
one
all
of my
over the
favorite
table.
moments, a moment that just like I thought was so good for Arthur.
In Italy?
Jason Momoa's portrayal of Arthur and cracked me the hell up was the selfie moment.
Oh yeah.
Where they want to take
yeah.
a selfie with him, and then it's awkward, and then it just cuts to pictures of them picking him up, and then
Yep.
him having fun, and then them drinking and them fighting. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
everything right there.
You mentioned Italy, and I want to bring this up real quickly because there's actually something else I wanted to touch on.
Ooh, touch it.
I love seeing him, and I saw this. We see this in Wonder Woman. I love seeing him save people during a battle.
Yes,
Yeah.
same.
That little girl.
That
excuse me.
that
little
is
girl.
that is great superhero stuff. That we see that with the Avengers all the time. We saw that in Wonder Woman. We don't see it in Man of Steel. Screw you. But real quickly, talking about negatives. My only other negative would be, again, when you're not underwater, the suits, the generic like fish people suits,
The Atlantean suits.
the Atlantean suits.
The, what are the Frieza
The armor?
guard? The Frieza guard.
Freeze of Force.
They now I like the designs, but the material they use look fake.
Oh yeah, they look like those are rubber.
I love
They
it.
look like
So,
they're rubber.
I love it
Yes.
a lot because again, these are underwater depths. Our armor. So when they come up on the surface where there's light that it's never been seen like this, it's going to look goofy. Again, this is the most expensive cheesy B movie ever
You
made.
keep saying that, and I want to attack that. I want to
Attack it.
attack
Attack it.
that theory that you keep
what?
bringing up. The idea that because that it's a B movie, we should just be like, nah, screw it.
No, but I don't think it looks bad because they're trying to make a
But I
silly
think-
fantasy movie.
But I think we need to accept that when it does. That there's more that could have been done there because there is a lot of money in this one and it is set. But
I disagree that it looks bad.
It is supposed to be set in the worlds of DC, and we've always seen everything look so good and visceral and realistic.
Hold on. So I'm going to
compared
use
to like BVS.
Hold on. So I'm going to use the Flash Gordon comparison again. In Flash Gordon, their costumes look, silly, but they're in tone and in they feel like they belong in that world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I did not feel like the Atlantean armor on Earth didn't belong in the world the film was showing me.
Yeah.
That worked for me. I thought it worked in the visuals that they had set up.
I feel
it
like
didn't
you have to like.
to me.
There's so much going on.
But the blades don't look like blades. They look like styrofoam.
I don't think they look like styrofoam.
The things that the helmets that they're wearing look like they're rubber plastic.
I don't agree.
I disagree.
It just
100%.
doesn't
They
work
work-
for me.
That's
they're,
fine, but
they're
that's
water cooling things, and you see them in the water.
That's-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the design is good. I'm not attacking the design. I'm attacking the material they used.
Well, that's what Atlantean material looks
I'm
like.
talking about the material that the
No,
filmmakers
I know,
used.
but we both disagree with how it looks. I think if this were Batman vs Superman and it was super bright in a dark movie, sure, but all of this is super bright and super silly. I take all of it in, and I like all of it. And nothing bothers me because you see an octopus playing the drums in this movie. You're gonna see silly shit. It's not gonna look all regular.
I just think that the costume design there could have looked better, especially with the amount of money they put into this movie.
Now, I actually think the costume design was fine because it looked if you look at every single underwater movie that has like people from Atlantis or whatever, there's always that underwater aesthetic. I thought this movie like nailed it perfectly, and I have to admit I love the use of those practical costumes.
Oh, sure do I.
And
do I.
I think Black Manta. Let me
Orm,
finish. I think that Black Manta's costume looked the best.
He was so good.
Black Manta's practical costume looked damn beautiful.
I was just about to say. I think Ocean Master, Aquaman, when he's in his costume, in his classic costume.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
Mara, and Black Manta, as you said, I think those all look really great.
Everything looks so much better than Justice League. Oh my god.
There's a lot of dudes that get in that Atlantean armor. There's a lot of dudes that get in that Atlantean armor, both the red and the white.
Yeah.
And they're
The red
all practical
commandos
and
are
they're
dope.
real people doing it.
Yeah.
I would rather have that many of them than have only a few of them and the rest be CGI in order for those guys' costumes to look better because they had to make so many of them. And I think that they look good. Like it didn't literally never cross my mind.
Yeah.
Didn't cross my mind at all.
Look, it does take me out of the movie when I see those costumes because I'm like, everything else looks so good. Why do these look so shit? And I use shit. I'm being harsh. They don't look terrible. It just does take me out of the film because I'm like, you have a $250 million movie here. You could have made these look like they were made of sturdier stuff. It looks
I just don't
it looks
see
like
that.
I could punch a hole through this.
I get that that's a thing for you, but I don't see it at all.
Yeah.
I really
Let's
don't.
move on.
Actually, my
What about the red ones? Do you think the red ones look bad too?
All of the Atlantean armor
All of
that the generic foot soldiers are in bother me.
Since we're talking about costume stuff, though, Ocean Master's mask was bomb.
yeah.
Yeah.
His
that was
furrowed
like the
brow?
one piece. That was the one piece of CG where because it moved with his eyes. I was like,
Yeah, dude.
oh, that's so cool.
I thought Ocean Master's costume and, like I said, Aquaman's costume. I think both of those look really great.
Yeah.
Black Manta's so cool.
It
He's the
is.
coolest, you guys.
You know what? I think he's underutilized in this film.
He 100%.
He is.
And
Yeah.
I almost feel like I would have rather him not have been in this film, so you could give him his due as a villain, as the arch nemesis of Aquaman.
It doesn't bother me because he'll clearly be in the next one, and there will be a
Right.
next one.
I really hope so.
It actually.
It's made so much money. Yes,
Yeah.
there will.
So here's my negative. There are some parts of dialogue. I mean, I get it. Yes, Ryan, you've been saying this is the most expensive, the best B
Oh
movie
no,
ever made.
I can't defend some of the choices. I just don't mind
There
it.
are some dialogue choices that just made me cut. I mean, just the way that some lines were delivered, just some lines. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but there were some dialogue choices that I'm just sitting there going, really? Oh, like one of them was like, "What did we hit?" No, something hit us. I'm like, you're in open water. You can't hit anything. There's literally nothing to frickin' see.
Well, I'm sure submarines have once or another.
Have you ever
hit
seen
something.
The Meg?
No, but when
Talk about a shitty B movie.
yeah,
I want to talk about the good things now.
yeah.
Everything else.
I think that
Everything.
I think. Can we talk about Julie Andrews? Because I really just want to talk
Sure.
about.
You
Julie
mean
Andrews
Crab
for a hot second.
Godzilla?
Yeah.
That is something my girlfriend said. That's not me. I was calling
It
it.
doesn't even look like a crab.
It has pincers.
It has the
It
two.
totally has the.
It has
It has the
pincers.
crab
It has
pincers.
pincers. It has tentacles. It's literally your worst nightmare of the sea come to life.
She's never named in this film.
it's
the monster species she is named.
The,
It's like a crawhead. It's almost like a kraken.
Yeah,
Kraken
it's,
or
it's not
whatever.
it's not a kraken.
Yeah.
Carneth.
Something.
We're all wrong, I
Yeah.
think.
Fudge it is a kraken.
It's Cthulhu.
She is what I believe to be playing Topo. Now, in the original comics, Topo was the drumming octopus, as we see in the movie. And I feel like that's the reference to the original Topo. I think she is the Jeff Johns Topo. When he came on the book, he reimagined Topo as a giant monster, and I think that's who that is. And if it is, I'm so in. because I think man, when she barges into the final battle with Aquaman riding her,
Pretty sweet.
that was the most amazing thing I've seen in cinema
Ursula.
this year. That was really great.
That was pretty sweet.
I love Lord of the Rings battles that are underwater.
Carathan.
There it is.
Carathan.
Whoop, there it is.
I know I will concede that I have nothing that I can do to substantiate outside of I just didn't think that thing and Julie Andrews were the same thing. I understand the logic that it should be, but the size doesn't make sense to me, and I did not see the same tentacles on that creature in the battle scene that she had when she was interacting with Aquaman.
They didn't specifically say that, like, I'm going to help you and we're going to break out together.
Yeah.
But isn't it kind of silly for them to introduce a giant monster that's never been introduced at the end just because he can?
I mean, I agree with that logic. I just did not.
There was definitely at the
see
end
the fact that the two.
for sure.
No, I know there are tentacles. They don't look like the same tentacles. Design wise,
At the end of the movie, I thought they did.
I'd have to watch it
I
again.
think it's because it was so the camera was so out. And
I'm not looking.
Smaller.
I'm not looking to die on this hill.
yeah.
I'm just saying, as casually viewing the film, the two creatures seemed like separate entities to me. She was so massive when interacting with Aquaman.
Maybe she just has a really
the
tiny
size
head.
doesn't translate the same to me.
Maybe her head's
That's
just
all.
really small and her body's big.
Yeah, that could be it. I think the final battle with Orm and
The Brian.
No, the final battle between Orm and Aquaman.
Oh.
when they're on the ship. I thought that was really good.
You guys, there are multiple. I don't know if James Wan likes Metal Gear, but there are multiple Metal Gear sequences, and I'm just like the opening sub sequence with Aquaman and the mercenaries. I'm like, this is Metal Gear, and then the final battle of Metal Gear Solid 4 takes place on the top of a submarine, and they're doing fist-to-fist hand fighting, and it's like this.
Arthur taking out the pirates on the ship on the sub at the
great.
beginning was a great
awesome.
action.
Yeah, that was really good.
All
I
the
think
action's awesome in this.
the action sequences are really good. I love when Aquaman does the trident spinning independently of his hands bit.
Oh yeah.
Which looks real bad as CG, but it looks real cool as just a movie bit.
Yeah.
Because there's just no way, like when Volko is doing it too, and you just see his hands, and the thing is,
And it's spinning like 3 times faster than his hands possibly
Hey,
could be.
I'm gonna land here.
I really enjoyed the fact that Arthur does leave Black Manta's father. I like that choice happened, and I like that
And it haunts him.
and that
And it
I
creates
like
a
that it
nemesis.
comes up back
Yeah.
later, and that it is part of what affects his decision about what kind of person he needs to be from here on out.
And-
I really enjoy that they went that route. I thought that worked really well. It didn't feel like BS to me the way it was played out.
In the Jeff Johns run, I think Tom Curry kills Black Manta's father,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
And I think they both swore revenge on each other because of that. I'm not 100%.
That sounds
on
about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fathers killing fathers. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish there was more for Black Manta to do, and I know they're saving for a sequel, but it's like, look, if you had the moment with the mercenaries and then just like tease the Black Manta reveal for the sequel, I would have been more into that one, because I feel like because I just wanted more from Aquaman's arch nemesis.
I think that's to show how good the character is, though. Like, you want more of him. Like, I wouldn't want to remove him just because, like, we got teased more of him. Like, the action scene in Italy is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
And him, like, revealing who he is, and like, I have landing armor, I can take you out now, and Aquaman starts losing. That's awesome.
And again, you lose the whole thing of it actually affecting Arthur's decision about what he did and who he's going to be from here on out.
Because he didn't want to be a hero, but he is a hero. He should be a
it is
hero.
that emotional setup that's all needed right there. I think it actually works really well. I really like that fight scene between them later when he has the Black Manta suit, because they constantly are getting the upper hand. It's not like a one-sided fight. They're constantly overdoing the other until Aquaman finally knocks him the hell out. But that action scene is so good.
Like, chain nunchucks.
A chain bolo.
That's crazy. Yeah.
What was the sequence with the trench?
Yeah.
Is awesome. It's
beautiful.
It's
Gorgeous.
so intense.
I had a feeling that it would be from the trailer when we were seeing that
Yeah.
flare shot.
Now, it's so intense, and you see
wonderful.
them all swarming around.
And it goes for minutes, and they just keep swarming and more and
and
more
it's
of them.
and it's terrifying. It's
Yeah.
so unrelenting and so awesome and so gorgeous.
Now, if you guys remember a while ago, I watched the DC anime movie Throne of Atlantis.
See.
And I said how I was scared for this Aquaman movie because it looked like they're just ripping that off.
Well, they're both ripping off the comic.
Oh, no shit.
It's true.
But this Aquaman movie was so much better because in the Throne of Atlantis movie, the trench was just there. They were just like, oh, it was in the books, we have to throw it into the movie. Whereas the trench actually served a purpose. They kept mentioning your mom was sacrificed to the trench. Okay, we have to go to the trench. You mean where my mom died? Okay, cool. You go in, you see how creepy these monsters are, and it's like, this is really, really cool. And also just the way they look.
How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Yeah. It's terrifying. And then you go into the portal, which takes him to Aquaman.
Yeah.
What was the
I love Django.
the Hidden World or something like the Lost Sea.
The Lost Sea.
I think is what it's called.
Earth's core.
The Hidden Sea.
The Hidden Sea. We were all right in their own way.
Yeah.
I thought when the trench show up, when Aquaman can command the trench, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, he has the trench."
He's obviously the king, and then Dolph Lundgren's like, that guy's king, all right.
Like he's got the trident. He's got
He has control of the seven seas, and it's like, well, that's your king.
Yeah.
Like, you better go.
Like,
you
it's
better
true.
go.
It's like, and Marc comes in, he's like, you are breaking our most sacred law. And then some bad ADR shows up. He's like, it's true. He has the trident. All right.
Let the girl speak.
Then he is your king.
All right. He's my king. All right, cool. Let's kick ass then.
There's a bunch of side characters. There's Willem Dafoe as Volko, as like his teacher. He's a fun little character.
Kind of talking on his character a bit. I thought the flashbacks related to him were timed very well throughout the film. I felt like they never took too long.
Nope.
They got across the point of why they were there very quickly.
It's how you do. It's like a $200 million episode of Arrow, where like good transitions between things and stuff. Like, wow, this is how you do it.
Yeah,
All
when
right.
as like the bit on the cliff is like, this is where Volko taught me how to swim, and it just
it's rotating around.
rotate around him.
He did a lot of great single shots roaming around large battles and things that were going on. They looked wonderful.
I'm glad I didn't watch the whole clip online, but like there's like a one shot of Mara running on the roof.
Yes,
and I'm just like, this is all one shot, and then the camera cuts way back, and then it zooms in on Arthur doing something. I'm like, this is
with the bell.
This is some incredible shit you got here, Mr. Wan. Good job, buddy.
I'm sure there's like some crazy editing, like Birdman.
Oh, of course, but it still looks so
super
good.
impressive.
It looks like it is all going on at the same time.
It's like the hallway fight in Aquaman, Daredevil season 2 is edited, and you can tell, but it still looks really
should
good.
watch season 3.
I think what was so good about it is pretty much every single thing that was taking place underwater that wasn't like a talking moment was a free-flowing camera. So it really made you feel like
fluid.
you were underwater because the
yeah.
camera wasn't still. It was kind of traveling around, showing
and
you
they
the scope
committed
of the world you were
hard
in.
every single time. People are just always like moving around like they're swimming.
Yeah.
And like if you see behind the scenes how silly it looks, it worked. It worked.
It worked really well.
And also even the I don't want to say the focus, but the way the shot looks like, because obviously everyone's staying still, but they're trying to flow. But the way they make it look, it's like you can, because when you're underwater, things are wavy. They're not like solid straight.
Right.
They got that down pat. I was like, this looks so good.
Yeah.
I fully believe that they are underwater.
And this is like the first time that any filmmaker has tried to do something like this. Like it's the first like real underwater movie. And like, man, for the first time, they pulled it off, I think.
Yes.
As well as you possibly could.
You know what? I'll say it.
Yeah.
I think Aquaman deserves the Oscar for best visual effects this year.
Visual. Have you seen Thanos?
Visual effects.
Yeah. Have you seen Thanos?
Have you seen Aquaman?
Yeah, I just watched it.
I won't say no, but I don't.
I definitely think
so.
it deserves nomination.
Sure. Okay.
I don't know if it should win.
It does
but it definitely
it
deserves
does something
nomination.
unique, but I don't think it does anything.
It's just a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot of cool stuff.
I think what it is that it in a cohesive and logical way brings together a lot of different facets of things we've already seen before,
Yes.
but it makes them all work together.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it certainly could get a nomination.
Okay. Yeah. What else we got?
It was really, really good.
Man. Yeah, just like all the action was great. Like everything underwater was super fun. Everyone was charming.
The moment that you
The
Ryan
Italy?
and I were talking
That's
about.
probably
yeah.
my favorite scene in the movie. It's so cute.
The moment where she gets the flowers.
She's a
and
fish
she's
out of
looking
water.
around, and
She
she
eats
sees
them.
people eating, so she eats the flowers, and then totally working in tone with the character Jason Momoa has established. He just comes up and he also eats a flower because he doesn't.
And he smiles because he
That's
does it
how
for his
he's-
girl.
yeah.
It's so cute. It's real cute.
I also liked how they threw in like a little treasure hunt scene when they're trying to find the location of the trident. Like the part with the bottle, like it was like, look in the bottle. I'm thinking, oh no, they're gonna look in the
It
bottle.
felt straight out of
aren't
Assassin's Creed Odyssey right there.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's doing some puzzle shit. Hell yeah.
they? Was it? No, I really liked that part.
People get interrupted in the middle of conversational scenes
With
by
explosions.
explosions.
Yeah.
frequently,
Like
in this
4
film.
times.
It's very funny. I started noticing it as a pattern.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to break down some numbers as we wrap up. The DCEU film this is the article. Brought in $72 million, coming in number 1 at the box office this weekend.
Good.
Cool.
The second spot was Mary Poppins Returns at 22.2. That's a huge gap.
That's not a lot of money for Mary Poppins.
And 3 days, 31 domestically million. But Bumblebee came in third with 20.9.
Not a lot.
So I'm happy to see that Aquaman is being received so well by audiences.
Yeah.
Because I think this film could be a franchise, and it could
I
be
hope
a really fun franchise.
I'm
And
totally down.
I get the feeling that James Wan doesn't necessarily want to come back because he, like he said, he put a lot into this movie, but I'm sure like with enough praise, I think he
And
might,
money.
with enough praise and money,
Yeah.
he might decide to come back.
Yeah.
And I really hope that he does.
Yeah, dude.
So I'm kind of out of things to say.
I actually have one more thing.
Go
I
ahead.
have to
Say it,
say.
baby.
Go ahead.
One of the things I really liked about this movie is that no major player or villain died. Besides Black Manta's dad, but that's obvious. That's
Right.
straight
That's
out of
what
the books.
happens, yeah.
I'm talking about because Brandon, you were mentioning, especially with How to Train Your Dragon 2, one of the tropes that you absolutely hate is you bring in both parents, you bring them together only to kill one of them off. They did not kill either Tom Curry or Queen Atlanta. They didn't kill Orm. They didn't kill Black Man.
I was really glad they didn't kill Orm.
You think they're gonna kill? You think Black Man is dead? But I'm sitting there going, "Oh no, he's gonna be the end credit scene."
Atlanta coming in at the end to basically end the battle. They're like, Orm,
Yeah.
he's the king.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like Orm, just stop. And even when Aquaman's like about to stab him, he's like, "No, I don't want to kill my own brother." I also really like that. One of my favorite scenes.
Patrick Wilson played that moment great, by the way.
Yes, he did.
Oh, he did.
Yes, he did.
But one of my favorite scenes was when they're doing the Ring of Fire bit, Shark Bait, ooh aha.
Because you're mine.
Was when Arthur is looking at him, was like, there was a time when I found out about you, I wanted to meet you so bad.
Yeah.
I want to hang out with my little
I loved
brother.
it because he set it up like, and this is a credit to Jason Momoa. He
Yeah.
set it up like he was going to do a disc burn, like
Yeah.
one of those things. And he's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm going to go for sincerity. You know what? When I heard about you, and I was like, that's really nice.
Yeah, it was
good
good.
moment.
And at
Great.
the end of this battle where he could have died, he's like, let me know when you're ready to talk, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're
And
still
then-
my brother.
And
as
then
much
even
as
then,
you're a
Orm just
warmonger.
looks, and even Orm just looks back and he just smiles. And also, I love how they didn't kill Volko because when Orm says like, "Dude,
Same.
I've known you were a traitor all along," I was like, "Oh crap, no, just take him away." But make
Patrick
sure
Wilson's awesome.
Yeah,
in this
no,
movie.
but make sure he has a
doesn't-
view.
So Orm in the comics is a bit of a mass murderer.
Yeah,
Orm,
100%.
Orm in this one, a little crazy, not a mass murderer.
Like,
No.
he's just
Yeah.
he's just a bad leader.
But it worked well here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's not like a I mean, he's a warmonger, but like he I think he believes that like the surface world's gonna wreck shit up, so he has to do something.
And also, I also kind of like how I mean, sometimes it may, I don't know if it's shoved, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but with this movie, I was like, you know what? Yeah, maybe we should stop effing up our oceans. Let's not do that.
I mean, we've thought
I
about
mean,
that for decades.
I
I
really
knew that
like-
before this movie.
I know, I know.
I mean, it is like political or whatever, but like all of the trash gets thrown back into our
No, I thought
beaches.
that I thought
That's
it was
a
well
cool
done.
warning.
I thought it was
Yeah.
a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
I thought that was
I
really
thought-
cool.
I thought
I
they were-
wish there were Atlanteans who could just do that.
Yeah. It's
I
like,
thought there
hey,
was-
humans, pick up your shit.
I thought there was a moment in the beginning when the wave first hits that I thought they were going to kill Tom Curry.
Oh, I wanted to talk
Yeah.
about that. The way they did that with sound and everything. The
Oh,
way
yeah.
that moment played out was awesome.
That
Yes.
was
that was really great.
that was
Yeah.
And then when
and
Mara
the-
shows up with her powers and she saves Tom, that was like, oh, this is
and
really good.
The blur of being caught in that wave that Arthur's going through.
And he's trying to find his dad. Yeah.
And credit to the effects, like I could still follow what was going on, even though it felt very much like the damage of
it
what
was
happens in that
muddy.
wave. It was
and
really
it was
great.
dark, but you could still see Aquaman.
You see, if there was a dog in that car, though, he couldn't go save it because he
my
couldn't.
God.
He couldn't
oh my
reveal
god! I don't want to
himself.
talk about it. I also thought that the scene with Mara, where we're back on land, and the wine, as cheesy
Wine
as that could
spikes.
be, it was so cool
Dude,
to see.
wine
I
that
didn't
was
even.
so cool.
It was cheesy the way they built up to it, but like that's the exact thing that like the movie knew. They were like they're broadcasting that
Yeah.
this is going to
Yeah.
happen, but you're loving it anyway.
Could you say
You're
they
just
had?
so into
could
it?
you say they had alcohol poisoning?
when they pan around, and you see that she's in a wine store, and you're like, I know
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly what's going
It's
to
like,
happen.
oh,
and I
she's gonna
can't
murder
wait.
No,
someone
I
with
just say they
wine.
spiked the wine.
Oh, they spiked the wine. Brilliant.
Yeah, that was a lot
Alright.
better.
All right, guys.
That
So-
was much better.
I already knew like 5 minutes in I was gonna love this movie, and then like 30 minutes in I was gonna love this movie. But there's a scene where they're coming out of the ocean, And it's like a Victoria's Secret ad. It's like zooming in on these hot
yeah.
bodies, and Pitbull's Africa starts playing.
No, technically the song is called Ocean to Ocean.
Wait,
That's what it's called.
Wasn't Pitbull's Africa playing when he's flying over when they're flying over the desert?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's when
it's
they get
before that they come out of the ocean to get to the plane.
Oh, you're right.
And that's when it starts.
Yeah.
Because they're getting there.
Lee Winnell is the pilot. He's the director of Upgrade.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
cool.
he's a longtime collaborator of James Wan.
That's awesome. All
Oh,
right.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, I was hoping it was going to be the end credits.
Me too.
after,
Yeah, me too.
But
It really
the fact
was.
that it's just like Jason Momoa coming out of the water like James Bond and Pitbull.
Jason Antmara.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
This movie's so dumb. And
If he had been shirtless, it would have been straight out of Casino Royale.
yes, yeah. Yeah, I think this is a like I said before, it's a big and it's a bold movie, and like I don't think you have to like you're 100% in or 100% out because like I'll say it again, there's an octopus playing drums. Like some people are just not going to accept that.
Right.
It's too stupid. For me, it's just right.
There's a
So good.
Leopleurodon eating crab people.
There's
There were
there's
narwhal.
a war of Leopleurodons fighting crab people.
Doesn't somebody get stabbed with a narwhal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Narwhals,
Multiple
Narwhals,
They're
trench
cavalry. They're cavalry.
Narwhals straight up murder people.
Oh my god!
And it was
I remember,
awesome.
I remember seeing when Aquaman calls uses the and you see the
sonar
ring.
I love
That
you.
sonar
You see
rings.
It's so good.
And you just see the swarm of the not the trench yet, but like the sea animals,
The
and
animals.
the
Yeah.
narwhals
Yeah.
like stab a bunch of Atlanteans.
No, one of my favorite things is once again straight from the books. I know you guys say it's like just because it's from the books doesn't mean it's good, but this time it was good. Was when he goes to the humpback whale and you hear the woo 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 woo, and you see like the rings of him talking
Yes.
of him
Yes.
air quotes talking to the whale, and then Mara is like, "Wait, you can do that?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
it was,
lo-
it was
it's
like,
awesome.
what are you doing, Pinocchio?
Yeah. Pinocchio. You got the idea from a children's book?
Yeah.
Oh, this is
That's
a
a
book.
book?
I got it from a movie.
Those moments shown really, really well.
Now, I want to say this is not the Aquaman of the comics. He is a very different character.
He's a
Yeah.
He's much more bro-y.
I think that Jason Momoa, now that we've seen him do a full film, I think Jason Momoa has done a very good job of crafting an Arthur who can embody what Aquaman is and also appeal to modern mass audiences
Yes.
and really get
Here's-
across this fun,
Yeah.
dynamic character that is very entertaining to watch, regardless of the fact that he's not exactly Arthur from the comics, because
Yes.
he's not. But I thought it worked really.
he differs in many ways.
Where I'd been trepidatious before, just from like the first images up to Justice League and all that, I totally abolished this film. Was
I think
solid.
I wanted to say exactly that, which was that even though this isn't the Aquaman from the comics, I think this is very good. This is a very good turn for Jason Momoa. This is a very good Aquaman movie. It's a very good portrayal of Aquaman. I hope that Marvel does this more often than DC. I hope we don't see this Aquaman in DC. I hope we keep our Arthur Curry the way he is in DC Comics.
They're launching Kelly Sue DeConnick's new run where
He's amnesiac, but he's still Aquaman.
Okay.
Like he's not dude bro Aquaman
he
yet.
doesn't have tattoos.
I'm
No.
Okay.
I'm glad this movie never lost sight of like keeping a lot of its heart present.
Yeah.
Stuff with Tom Curry and Alana.
It bookends.
Yeah,
with the mom and dad.
With the mom and dad
I
at
love
the beginning
that.
and the end. I
Yeah.
thought that was a really solid choice.
And I liked them a lot. And like I didn't get like teary eyed, but like at the end,
I got teary-eyed.
when they're
I'm not gonna
reunited.
lie.
I'm like, fudge,
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
dude.
I got tears in my eye.
And they
The-
reunited. I'm like,
Couldn't believe it.
yay.
The moments between Arthur and his dad are really good. I'm
Oh,
glad that
right.
that's the thing that gets him on board with like engaging with Mara
Like I
because of how she saves him.
I live at the bottom of the ocean, but somehow you can still drink me, like drink me under.
Yeah.
That's
How
what's
is it
really-
that I can breathe water, but you can still drink
What-
me under the
there you
table?
go.
What did you guys think of the design of Atlantis? Just
I liked
the
it.
design.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It's cool.
It's-
Yeah.
I love how there's like high tech and also the sea floor is the ruins. I kind of dig it.
Really dug the whole scene where he was in chains in the throne room.
I do too.
That felt so Flash Gordon to me. And
Yes,
then
it
he
did.
like zooms up while the
That
four
was-
dudes are trying to hold
that
him back,
was-
and he gets
yeah.
right in his face. He's like,
That
"Let's
wa-
just do this."
That was
That was some
Emperor
trippy.
Ming, yeah.
that was
pretty
some
cool
of
shit.
Jason Momoa's best. Was him
yeah.
playing off Patrick Wilson in that scene was
Yes.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yes. Tamara Morrison
Django.
was who plays Jango Fett. Was,
Django.
Yeah,
I
he was.
thought it was
He was
Jango
really
Fett.
great.
yeah, I get him confused with Christopher Jackson, who voices the father of Moana.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, he
Hey,
did.
guys.
I really liked the way they played here. It
Yeah,
was
me
really
too.
good.
I am Tom, keeper of Lighthouse.
That was cute.
Yeah.
All right, so that's final thoughts. Oh, nobody
I'll
go
say
at once.
this reminded me, and this is follow me here. This reminds me of when Hugh Jackman was casted as Wolverine because Hugh Jackman is a great Wolverine. When I think of Wolverine in the comics, I don't picture Hugh Jackman at all. but it doesn't mean he can't grow into the character and be his own thing. And I think with this Aquaman, like we can totally have this broy, Hawaiian, super cool, drunk Aquaman, and have him grow into the king that we all know and love, and still have the comic stuff. You can have both. That's
Right.
fun.
Yeah. Rate it.
Man, I love this movie, you guys. I give it a 9.5. Like, if this came out in the summer, and like besides Infinity War, this would be like one of my favorite movies of the summer. Like, I love it.
Ben.
I will say this is the best DC film we got.
100%.
I know people probably gonna bash me about Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman had some flaws. It was still great, but it had some flaws, and also it had one of those standard DC big CGI fight scene at the end. Aquaman did have a big CGI fight scene at the end, but what the whole movie is 90% CGI.
That's narwhal cavalry.
There's
But
narwhals
the battle
murder.
between him and Orm
Yeah.
wasn't, and
No.
that's what counted
That's
so
a
and
much.
small personal battle.
not only that, it was during a quote unquote storm, but
But it's not a hulking gray CGI villain.
But
Yes.
you can also see everything. Everything was bright. The colors were popping. I love the classic Aquaman suit.
It looks good.
This is a step in the right direction for DC, and I cannot wait to see more. Now make a goddamn Superman movie already.
Yeah, they're
You're
never
getting one. It's
doing
called Shazam.
I give it an 8.9.
You and your nines.
Come on, Sparkz.
Yeah, I told Ryan and Ben this that I feel like if Venom was a bad '90s film made today, this was like the good superhero '90s film made today. I thought it echoed a lot of the same feelings you get when you see the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But like for a modern audience with this character, obviously, but a lot of those vibes are the same. I thought the execution of all that worked so well. It's crazy how good this was. I'm really happy with it. I agree. I think it is the best modern DC film. Wonder Woman having a lackluster third act.
Yeah.
Where this one didn't. I think this one stayed pretty great all the way through. There are very minor things that bother me, and otherwise it's really, really good. I'm excited
I
to
don't
see
think
it
I
again.
have any pacing issues or
Because
anything.
once again, this is a comic book movie. You're supposed to have fun.
I thought we
Yeah.
promised no more thoughts after the final thoughts.
Anyway, yeah, I thought everything really worked. It was the action adventure Aquaman superhero film that I wanted to see, and it looked great. I definitely give it a 9.5.
Nice. Yeah, I echo a lot as always. I think that I agree that the third act issues that plague the DC films does not plague this one, and that's really refreshing. However, I do think that Wonder Woman might be a stronger film. This is definitely a more enjoyable, a lot more fun. This is like I said, this is a blast to watch. This was a don't mind that. It was a lot of fun to watch this movie. I would give it I think purely on enjoyment alone, not necessarily quality. I would give this a 9. Purely on just the fact that I just had a damn good time. The pacing of this film is really solid, only matched by Infinity War, I think, with pacing.
Also, just like it's not Infinity War levels of bigness of
Grand scale.
wealth of stuff, but like it is a jam packed movie.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
All right, then let's get out of here.
Do we agree? I think it's the best DC movie. You said you think
yeah.
Wonder Woman?
I think
Brandon?
Wonder Woman is still a stronger film. I do think this is more fun.
I will say I think that Wonder Woman does a better job of like building her
Yes.
than this does of building Arthur specifically. But
Yeah.
I think this film overall just it becomes a greater experience
Grand old
than
time.
Wonder Woman
say,
was.
I would say I had a lot more fun.
But they're close.
no,
Like,
I would
Wonder
say
Woman was still
I
real
had a
good.
lot more fun walking out Aquaman than I did Wonder Woman.
All right, let's get out
Not
of
a
here.
fun movie. It's war and
Yeah.
people dying.